Picture this, America's most powerful sports empire, worth over $15 billion today, started when 7 guys walked into a car dealership in Canton, Ohio. No lawyers, no contracts, no corporate boardrooms. Just a bunch of football players sitting between hopmobiles, trying to figure out how to get paid for getting tackled. Stay with me, because you're about to discover how the most unlikely business meeting in history accidentally created the NFL. August 20th, 1920. While most of America was figuring out this whole prohibition thing, something revolutionary was happening at the Jordan and Hupmobile Auto Showroom in Canton, Ohio. 7 men, including the legendary Jim Thorpe, were about to turn football from a weekend hobby into the monster we know today. Let's set the scene. Professional football in 1920 was organized chaos. Players jumped between teams depending on who paid them the most that weekend. Sometimes they'd play for 2 different teams on the same day. It was like the Wild West, but with more concussions and fewer rules. Enter Jim Thorpe, quite possibly the greatest athlete who ever lived. This guy had already won Olympic gold in both the pentathlon and decathlon, played professional baseball, and dominated college football. But even Jim Thorpe couldn't make sense of the professional football mess. So on this humid August day, these 7 football pioneers squeeze into a car showroom, surrounded by shiny new automobiles that cost more than most players made in a season. Ralph Hay, who owned the dealership, probably thought he was hosting a casual chat about football schedules. Instead, they accidentally invented the American Professional Football Conference, which sounds about as exciting as a tax seminar. Thankfully, they later changed the name to something a bit catchier, the National Football League. Here's what's amazing. They had no idea what they were creating. These guys were trying to solve basic problems like, how do we stop players from switching teams mid-game? And maybe we should have some actual rules. They weren't dreaming of billion-dollar TV contracts or halftime shows with pop stars. The entire meeting probably cost less than what a modern NFL team spends on halftime snacks. No agents, no lawyers, no PowerPoint presentations about market penetration. Just 7 guys, some cars, and a shared frustration that football was a hot mess that needed organizing. Jim Thorpe became the league's first president, probably because he was the only one everyone had heard of. What is the membership fee for joining this revolutionary new league? A whopping $25. For perspective, that's about $350 today. You can't even get decent season tickets for that now. Fast forward 104 years, and that little car dealership meeting has created a cultural phenomenon that shuts down America every Sunday from September to February. The NFL now generates more revenue than the economies of some countries, all because 7 guys in a Canton showroom decided football needed better organization. Every time you argue about fantasy football, plan your weekend around game time, or spend 3 hours watching grown men chase a leather ball around a field, you're participating in something that started between a bunch of cars in Ohio. The birth of the NFL proves that the biggest revolutions often start with the simplest problems. 7 men walked into a car dealership, frustrated with football chaos, and walked out, having created America's most dominant sports empire. Sometimes the most powerful changes happen not in boardrooms or ivory towers, but in the most ordinary places, with people just trying to make things work a little better. What everyday problem would you solve if you knew it could change the world? Drop your game-changing ideas in the comments below. And if you love discovering these incredible origin stories that shaped modern America, join the History Sparks community by hitting that subscribe button. Because the most amazing revolutions often start in the most unexpected places, and we're here to uncover every single one of them.